Hey friend, I like you. I just finished the first day of Tony Robbins' Business Mastery 2 course. And here are the top 3 things that I learned today. The first one is about poo, the second one is about free cars, and the third one is about cutting. Tony talked about the different life stages of a business. So a business goes from like being born to being a baby. That's kind of where my business is in. It's just me right now. And it grows and becomes a teenager, gets into more trouble and becomes like an adult and gets into its prime, and it can decline and become worse and die and so on. What he talked about is that there's 3 different types of problems. You have normal problems, you have abnormal problems, or you have pathological problems. A way to think about it is, if I poo my pants, there's probably something abnormal or pathological going on. But if a 1-year-old poos their pants, it's not really a problem, it's a normal problem. The stuff that you really need to focus on are the abnormal or pathological problems. And it's really interesting to see like what kind of life stage your business is in and how that affects the kinds of problems that you have. A baby business always has like cash flow problems. And that's normal, so it's to be expected, so you can anticipate that that's going to happen. But if a more mature business has cash flow problems, that's probably abnormal, so that's something that really needs to be addressed much more urgently. He shared a really interesting story about Steve Wynn, the Las Vegas legend who has like the Encore Hotel and the Wynn Hotel. In the 90s, like the business was going really poorly. People were thinking that there are going to be layoffs. What he ended up doing was taking his kind of middle managers into a room and saying, okay, we all know there's tough times. What I'm going to do is have you go to this warehouse. There's going to be tons of different cars there, and your job is to pick out the car that you want, and you're going to take it home. Like, what? Really? Yeah, really. What that ended up doing was signaling to the whole company that company was not going to go under. The Wynn company, that was a different company than all the competitors. So the people who were worried and like really scared that things were going to go south, they were like, but this company is so good. They're giving the managers cars that it's impossible that we're going to fail. That really lifted morale in the whole company. When I was studying, I worked in the Apple store, almost worked there for 5 years part-time. Part of the benefits at the company was, of course, I had my salary, which was decent for a student job. And then I had this discount on the Apple products. And as an Apple nerd, like, wow, that's like a 20% discount. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. That benefit cost Apple nothing to provide. They have so committed employees that they're spending like a large chunk of their salary on just plowing it back into the company. And when I was evaluating, like, okay, should I quit this job? I was like, but I have that discount. So I had like my salary, which was decent. And then I had this discount, which even though it was worth like, I don't know, 1/50th of the salary, it was taking up a disproportionate amount of space in my mind. So it made me stick with the company much longer. It's interesting how I bucketed that benefit completely disproportionately from the value that it actually created. The main focus of the day it was about making decisions. So it's cutting away the other options that you have. And the cool thing that he talked about was there's basically a few reasons for procrastinating on a decision. I can really relate to that. One was being scared of making the decision of what's going to happen. Am I going to lose what I have, or am I not going to get what I want? Then it was being unsure about if the decision is going to be the right decision or if it's going to be correct or not. And I could really relate to that because I can be a perfectionist, and then I can just overthink things and not end up not taking action. And he shared a really interesting story about General Schwarzkopf, who was a general ages ago, came to the Pentagon and was faced with a decision very early on. And it was a decision that had been debated within the Pentagon for like 10 years. And he was like, we're gonna do this thing. And his colleague was like, how could you decide that? And he's like, as a leader, I need to make a decision. And now a decision has been made. And even if it's the wrong one, we're going to find out a lot sooner. So it's like 10 years of waffling around, not making a decision. And then he just went in there, made a decision, and at least they could get the ball rolling and start to make progress and find out if it was right or not. And I really relate to that. Like, I could not make this video and think about it for a long time, and now I'm making this video and it's probably not going to be that good. I hope it's valuable to somebody else than just me, but if it's not, then I'm documenting my journey, I'm learning some skills, and I'm just doing it, even if it's not perfect. And the next part is dealing with overwhelm. That was the main section of this day. He has this framework called OOCEMR. And it's first outcomes. What outcome do I really want? Then it's what options do I have? He recommends having at least 3 options, because 1 option is not an option. 2 options is a dilemma. 3 options, then you actually have a choice that you can make. The next one is consequences. What are the consequences? What are the ups and downs of these different options that I've chosen? And then it's about evaluating the different options, and then you look at the upsides and downsides of each option. How likely are they? How big is the positive or negative consequence of it? Then how can you mitigate the negative stuff? And R is resolve. What am I resolving to do? And I think it's a really good process to go through when faced with a bigger decision. So I'm really going to take that away for a decision that I'm making regarding what I want to do next with my business. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you don't. You shouldn't subscribe if you don't want to. It's your life. I'm doing this for me, and I hope it helps you.